Welcome to the Bluegrass Breakdown Radio Show. I'm Kelly Patrick. We have a great show lined up for tonight. We've got some great stuff to cover as both the Cardinals and the Cats are in the Sweet 16. Got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. What do you think, Tyler?
I think it's great. Louisville advancing 2 good games. Kentucky doing the same. Everybody thought Iowa State might be a battle with Royce White, which he played well, but of course the Cats are just the Cats, best team in the nation. They just ran away with it, right, Danielle?
I agree.
Exactly.
Wholeheartedly.
John, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
Doing fantastic?
Doing fantastic.
The Cards are in Sweet 16. What do you think?
Cards are in Sweet 16. We got spring football practice.
Nobody cares about that, John.
We care about both.
Yeah, we're Card fans. We cheer about all of our sports.
We do. Our softball team's playing right now.
Do you want to talk about cheering all sports? Our undefeated baseball team, 21-0.
Our softball team's 23-0.
22-0. 23-2. Either one. Big deal.
They won.
They didn't just sweep the two-time defending national championship South Carolina Gamecocks, though. That was impressive. Game 1, Luke Maile or Miley, I don't know how to pronounce it, hit a bomb to win the game. Got the Momo going. They're ranked number 2 in the nation now. Congrats to the baseball team. Get out to Lexington. I don't know the field name, but yeah, check them out. Got a good show coming up. We have a Simone Scott from Fox Sports. Isn't that right, Kelly?
Yes, Simone Scott will be joining us to do a little preview of the Louisville Michigan State game. That's right. Should be in the second segment. We look forward to having Simone on.
Of course, and we can throw our first sponsor out there real quick. If you want to check them out, bruceys.com. Good stuff. You got some pretty sweet glasses on there. Real men pry, and women, I guess they can as well. They can try, right, Danielle?
I could totally pry.
You can try. Those glasses, you just said they don't look good on you, though.
I mean, they're different from my glasses. But if I ever needed a pair of glasses that could open my beer, I would totally go with
You
Brucey's.
mean your Ale 8?
Oh, yeah, my Ale 8 or my A&W.
How old are you, Danielle? Come on.
Sorry.
Jeez, rookies. It's okay. That's why
A&W root beer.
It's okay.
I meant root beer.
That's why she's an intern, Tyler.
That's why she's Daniel Chilton, the intern. That's exactly DCI.
I've never heard that before.
DCI.
It's not funny.
It's DCI. Would you like BTI? We got DCI.
We're just copying other
John's
shows.
actually been waiting for that.
We voted.
You are copying.
We voted.
Back to
copying. Matt gave himself the intern nickname, but he's obviously not the intern. He's the producer, so we had to just get. JJ's gone. Can't use JJ.
Although JJ's Facebook profile is still him as a host on here, so I'm impressed with that.
He's riding the wave.
He is riding the wave. Let's get into it. Hit Louisville first, Kelly. They had 2 good games.
Sure. Since we were last Tuesday. Beat Davidson 69-62. Siva certainly had a good game there. Couric did well. At the end, it got a little closer than I had expected maybe. But
Matt,
they won, and then they beat New Mexico State. What do you think of the wins, John? What did you take from Louisville's first 2 wins?
Well, it's good to see that we're not just going to roll over when things. I mean, in the Davidson, we took control and then they started coming back, and they definitely could have. They had the momentum to take control, and I think New Mexico did the same way, and we were able to stay together as a team and keep playing hard. So that's good to see. That's what you want to see in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to go home, and they have that mindset. So that's definitely gonna help them in any game that they play in a tournament.
Yeah, I was watching. Obviously, I watched every game I could watch, and Louisville, I think the whole game it was their game. Yeah, like Kelly said, Davidson kind of cut into the end, as did New Mexico.
Yeah, Louisville ended up winning only by 3 against New Mexico.
Yeah, but the whole time I just felt like those were Louisville's games from the tip. They just controlled, I would say, 34, 35 minutes of both games. Just a few minutes here and there.
It was nice to say we had the most talented team on the floor.
That is.
And we had the most talent.
The Big East tournament champions should have the most talent on the floor, right?
I mean, there was parts of this year where we couldn't say that. There was games that we played where we should have had the most talented team, but we didn't look like the most talented
Providence.
team.
But what's the matter, John? It's all about now, not about those. Those got you here, right?
We know that.
They built your team. Am I right?
I was just making a point.
I know. I was agreeing with you. They built your team.
What I take from the wins is I like that when necessary, Russ Smith steps up and he scores. He had a offensive scoring drought somewhat.
He does. He puts bunny fingers behind his coach. That was kind of odd.
He does, yeah.
And I asked Cameron Mills back in the day.
Hold up. You guys buddies now?
Me and Cameron Mills are best friends.
Wow. John Hancock, everybody.
You have no friends.
I know.
I know. So, but I asked him, what would happen back in because he was kind of commenting, before, he couldn't do that to Rick Pitino. I mean, like, there were certain things that this team seems to have a relationship.
He said
with
he
Rick
couldn't,
Pitino.
but Derek Anderson and all those other guys,
I don't think they
did.
would do. But I guarantee you,
They
Derek
didn't do bunny
Anderson
ears because
say
they're not
that he
dumb.
would do.
Or
I think there's
other
a
terminology.
connection that Rick Pitino has with this team that he hasn't had with any of his other teams, and he admitted that in the press
Great.
conferences that he's
bragged
very
about
very
that,
close.
I'm going
with
to say
this
he's
team.
pretty close to 96, though.
I mean, he'll call.
He still wears the ring.
Yeah, if I won a national championship as a
It's
coach,
going to
I would
be
take
one of your
pride in
favorite
that.
teams. I agree, though. I totally agree. Since he's been at Louisville, I think this is probably his most close-knit team. I know exactly what you're talking
He
about.
said that he doesn't have to worry about,
That was
drug.
interesting.
I thought
Not
that was
worried about-
interesting that he said the drug test. He doesn't have to worry about the drug
and
test.
that was never.
So
That was talked about back then, but it was never confirmed. Obviously, Earl Clark had a problem, and it was never.
But they're
We
very good
now
in Louisville,
know-
very good at Gannett and whatnot, keeping it under wraps, not letting it out. Right, Matt? You used to work there.
Kentucky fans think Courier Journal is
It's actually Gannett, though.
pro
Not Kansas.
UK.
Who cares?
I'm sorry, pro
People who
UofL.
work there care.
UofL fans think Courier Journal is pro UK. I mean,
As,
I agree with Diener on that. That I don't like the whole conspiracy either way. So why don't you
I
just
think
drop
most
it?
most of them actually are IU fans.
Most of
Bozich is a-
Bozich is
I was at the bar this
Eric
weekend.
Crawford
you
is
know.
an IU fan.
That's true. He is an IU fan.
So
There was a lot of IU fans at the bar this weekend. I'll tell you that. I was wearing a UK hat, and I was heard this, that, everywhere you walk. I didn't hear Louisville fans. They're respectful. They're happy they're Sweet 16. But in Indiana, it's like they've been there every year. These fans
Well,
are ridiculous.
Tyler, I don't know if you realize this, but they're hanging banners.
They are hanging banners,
They're
John.
hanging
They're
banners.
banners.
At IU.
Daniel, did you get any IU fans since you found out? I know you've been excited about the game.
Oh, I like keep waking up and hoping that it's Friday.
Me too.
I'm so excited. I mean, in a way, I didn't really need to play them because I know that Kentucky's better than them. I don't care that they won, that Indiana won. I don't care because it's two completely different teams now. And I know that Kentucky's going to win, but I'm just so excited to get them to shut up on a neutral court, not an assembly, with Terrence Jones, totally there. Oh, it's going to be awesome. And I just want to find every single IU fan. I think maybe after the games that I'm going to drive to Bloomington and just rub it in.
Yeah, I wouldn't go
That
there.
would be
There's
really
nothing there.
No,
you don't
no.
wanna
Do
go
you
to-
know what would be there?
It's
IU
not an easy
fans
drive.
that I could make cry even more than they're already
I
crying.
wouldn't go there. You might
You don't
not
wanna
make
drive
it.
Your car
out.
couldn't make
Yes, I would.
Your car couldn't make it
It'd be
exactly.
like-
My car
First
would-
off, your car would get towed as it did over the weekend.
Shut up.
And I had to take her home. Hey, could you come back and get me? My car got towed. Yeah, that was fun.
Why'd your car get
we
towed?
don't need. I
St.
parked-
Patty's Day.
I parked at Walgreens when I got to the Highlands, and it was like really early, and the only place I could park, because everyone was there for St. Patrick's Day, the only place I could park was Walgreens, and then I forgot to move it, and then they towed it, and it was real sad.
You know how many times I parked at Walgreens? Like hundreds.
Me
They
too.
don't tow
Me
people.
too.
Anyways,
Why would- ugh.
Kentucky had to get to the Sweet 16. Kentucky had to win some games as well. They knocked out Western. Western got there.
Real tough game.
Real tough game. 81-66, knocked Western out. They were up 30 at one point. Big deal. They played well. They shot the ball well. You expected victory. The Iowa State game. Iowa State came out, dominated UConn. John, did you see this game at all?
I did. I actually watched all of the Iowa State Kentucky game.
I was talking about the Iowa
UConn
State
game.
UConn game beforehand. Did you see any of that one?
No.
They just came out of the gate, just ran over UConn. UConn did cut it late, but it was Iowa State's game. They looked just like the better team. UConn struggled all year.
I don't understand why they actually. There's
They have a leader. They have They don't have any hat.
They don't have a Kimba, and they have Lamb, who is
Kemba.
just a whiner.
He just gets there and plays. That's all Lamb
He
is.
is not as good as he was last year because they don't have.
Because he didn't have Kemba to make him as good.
Right.
But yeah, Kentucky, they got to Iowa State. Iowa State had it to 44-42. I believe it's about 16 minutes left in the second half. Then Kentucky went on a 20-2 run. They finished the games 87-71. Nice, easy victory. Got a few dunks in there. Crowd was loving it. Crowd was packed up. The Yum Center looked beautiful in blue. I was there for the shoot
Blue
around,
NCAA
Kelly.
logo on the court.
There's, even the Louisville was in blue, John. It was beautiful. I loved the chum bucket, all blued out.
Well,
John, you're-
did someone make
Does it
some
make you uncomfortable?
complimentary comments about the Yum Center? Someone I can't.
I'll give you.
Who was that?
I'll give you some complimentary
Well,
comments.
quit calling it the Chum Bucket.
I'm gonna call it Chum Bucket all weekend because you're all dumb fans that said that we vandalized because water broke. Water head. No, the Yum Center tweeted out twice. There was no vandalism. You're all just dumb fans. Just made it bigger than it is.
I think it was more of there's certain bloggers that are Cardinal bloggers that I'm not fan of.
that made it out.
I do not look at their site as much as Tyler does, and they
I
like
love
to
them.
say a lot
What
of
site are you
things,
talking
and
about?
sometimes they make things up,
John won't
and
call
they
him
get a
out.
lot of hits.
He's
for
talking about the Card Connect and somebody else I don't know. But I know he's talking about him. I don't care. I'll call him out. But yeah,
I didn't say that. That's who I was talking about.
yeah. But I know you didn't. I said it.
Regardless,
Regardless.
it did seem that turned into a big issue. That there was some water and someone hanging on some pipes or something, and Jacob Kuiper
Jake Kuiper loves the internet.
gladly.
He does great work for us, but he loves the internet. He loves Facebook. Danielle, I
He's
got a
all
question
over
for
it.
you.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
forgot.
You don't. Good job.
You know, Jacob.
just wanna
He
make
said
one
Jacob
up?
Kuiper, and he threw me off.
Yeah, Jacob Kuiper
Good host
brought
would
to
come
my
up with a
attention
different
that
question on the
the-
fly.
I'll get it back.
the Yum Center and had reported that it was an accident and some kids were messing around hanging on some pipes. So
I think the only thing
no
that
hard
really,
feelings.
the only thing they could blame UK fans was there's a bunch of dip and some bathroom stalls, and that
Someone-
one guy was drunk and
Touche.
disorderly and wouldn't leave.
and he
Darn.
stolen tickets.
That's what happens when you give us
And
UK
yeah, a
fans
lot
alcohol.
of ticket. I think there was a lot of people that got arrested for trying to sell.
Someone was trying to make meth
Oh,
in one of
yeah.
the bathrooms. They said.
Indiana
Yeah.
wasn't there.
Anyways. I don't know if any of you all saw this Bellarmine. They do have a game coming up. I believe it's tonight, possibly
Friday.
Friday, the 20th. That's right, Friday against up in Northern Kentucky.
Mhm.
They will be taking on Alabama Huntsville, who's the number 2 seed, I believe. It's the Elite 8. They're going for their second championship in a row. Braden Hobbs was just named the National Player of the Year. I believe Louisville was looking at Braden Hobbs when he was coming out of high school. He was kind of a lower star recruit, and he's a ball. He's a ball
I
player.
think he was being looked at for a walk on. I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if he,
as like a justice or somebody. But if he dominated like this, but he's playing
the
well.
kid's definitely got talent. He's a great. It seems like all the players on Bellarmine are great. Scotty Davenport's doing a wonderful job. Just
Doing
an
great.
awesome-
We need to get him on. We can easily get him on.
Absolutely.
He loves it.
And you know what? He will be on. He will be on after the season.
He will.
He will.
You already talked
And,
about it. That's right.
So we'll get him on, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Scotty Davenport interview, but
Oh,
he's
it's great. It's the best. Have you seen his
just
commercial? His commercial's great.
I went to a Rick Pitino camp. Pitino's first year
Did
in
you?
Louisville.
How was that?
My brother and I tried to sneak out of the dorms at night. We did. We were just trying to innocently go to the store or something.
I bet.
Scotty Davenport caught us, made us run in the middle of the night.
Nice.
Really?
Yes.
That's a good story.
That is
I
a
thought it
great
was
story.
pretty cool.
How old were you?
18.
Do you remember the day that we were at the Rick Pitino bandwagon at Kroger? Or the signage thing when he first got hired? I was up there to get groceries with my mom, and then there's him and his brother and Rick Pitino.
Yep. I do remember
Signing
that.
autographs. I was
Inzer's
like,
got a
"Whoa,
picture of that
casual."
hanging in his bathroom.
Does he? Is that where he signed your flag that was stolen by Louisville fans down in Lexington? Talk about vandalism.
How do we know what fans
Oh, it was
stole
definitely the Louisville fans. It's definitely them.
What?
We vandalized the Chum Bucket, so it was definitely you stole our UK and UofL flag. Anyways,
Moving forward, Louisville gets to play Michigan State. We have a
talk about that with what's her name?
Simone Scott.
Simone Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler's ready.
Have Simone Scott coming up in the second segment.
Just a few minutes. You want to go ahead and get to that?
Yeah, I think we will take a quick break. We are going to. Are we doing the birthdays now, later?
We'll do that third segment. We got a nice little Pat Riley's birthday. You're gonna love the video for Pat Riley on the third segment coming in, so make sure you don't miss that. But we got Simone Scott from Fox Sports. We'll be right back with the Bluegrass Breakdown.
Welcome back to the Bluegrass Breakdown Radio Show. We have a very special guest with us. Simone Scott is a field reporter for Fox Sports. Covers, among other teams, has covered this season Michigan State. How are you doing tonight, Simone?
I am doing great. Thanks so much for having me on, you guys.
Thank you so much for coming on. We'll probably jump right into this here. Heading into the season, the Spartans had lost a few upperclassmen guards. So that had a lot to do with the preseason predictions, not even having Michigan State being in the top 25. How do you think that Izzo and Michigan State has responded from that and ended up going into the NCAA tournament as a 1 seed?
I think it actually started back last season. I think it was around February 2011 when Coach Izzo dismissed Michigan State guard Corey Lucius. He was suspended from the team. He ended up transferring. And I think that sent a message to the rest of the team like, hey guys, it doesn't matter who you are. If you do something wrong, you're going to be disciplined. And that's kind of an intangible that's really overlooked. Like, it kind of shows I'm serious about what's happening. The team is what matters first. As that people say, it's the name on the front of the jersey as opposed to the back. And so I really think Coach Izzo is able to get total effort from everybody on this team. Like, I've seen them play several times this season. They hustle after every ball. They don't take any plays off. They are always going. I think that's really important. And then also something else that I know when it's like around bubble time, people are always talking about strength of schedule. Michigan State has the number 1 strength of schedule of any team in the country. Wow. They started off, they played North Carolina, and then they played Duke. You can't really, unless you add Kentucky in there, you can't really start off any harder than that. And they were 0-2. It kind of looked bad from the beginning, but that really made them battle-tested. Like, they were able to see what do we need to work on as the season progresses to make us a really good team. And just through that, they've shown up, and they've played the best they can play. I think that's what's key, and that's how they got that 1 seed.
Good deal. I know that one of the kind of interesting notes, Kentucky just beat Iowa State, and I saw Fred Hoiberg's been accepting all the transfers he can get his hands on, and I think Lucius Harris actually transferred to, or what's his name? Last name's Lucius.
Corey.
Corey Lucius.
Corey Lucius. Yeah, he transferred, I think, to Iowa State.
He did, yeah.
Another thing is that obviously Pitino and the Cards are targeting senior forward Draymond Green. He not only led the team in scoring and rebounds, but as far as rebounding goes, he had more than double the amount of rebounds as the second leading rebounder on the team. Pitino and the coaching staff are obviously also targeting the point guard, Keith Appling, the sophomore. He had a big game against St. Louis. Who else do you think offensively do you expect to have a big game for the Spartans against Louisville on Thursday?
Well, last week I was in Indianapolis for the Big Ten tournament, and a player that really stood out to me that no one actually really talks about is another senior, their shooting guard, Brandon Wood. He's number 30. He's 6'2", 190 pounds. He's lean. And throughout the season, he averaged about 9 points. That's fine, but it's not really like, oh, we better cover him. But in the Big Ten tournament, I don't know if switch went off or what, but he just lit it up. In the championship game against Ohio State, he had 21 points. He was really that X factor that I think the Buckeyes weren't expecting. And then he's continued to play this past weekend in Columbus when they played St. Louis. He's just someone you don't expect to get a lot of points out of, but now teams are realizing we need to guard him. And that's really good. It's a really big compliment for Draymond Green, because you can't go off of Wood and double Green when there's this guy that's a three-point threat. He's able to create his own shot, which a lot of people can't do. A lot of people need to use the ball in a certain position to score. Brandon Wood, he can get it anywhere, and he can do what he needs to do. And he's also just a threat from 3 points. So that's someone that the Cardinals are really going to need to cover.
Have to look into him. I think he was a transfer, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, I think he went to Valparaiso.
Good deal. I know that with the Cards this season, traditionally Pitino teams like to get up and down the court and run, and they hit a lot of three-pointers. This season has been a little bit different than normal, and for example, the Cards beat Cincinnati in the Big East tournament with just a score of 50-44. Do you think Izzo will try to run with Louisville, or will he try to play a slower-paced game?
That's actually a really good question. I'm really not sure about that. I think what's key is that Tom Izzo, he's played so many different types of teams this season that he's prepared this Spartan team to be able to go at any tempo. Like, they've won games in the 90s, and they've also won games in the 50s. I feel in my heart they're going to try to run. Like, I think we all know that Louisville's going to press them. They've said they're going to press them. Izzo said, we know they're going to press them. And Draymond Green actually said, we know they're going to press us. But what we want to do is we don't want to just break the press. We want to make them pay for pressing us. So I see a lot of fast movement, trying breaking the press, transition basketball. I think they want to try to get this game up to the 70s.
I know Draymond Green was on the team, I believe, when Michigan State knocked Louisville out of the Elite Eight.
He wasn't. He remembers that very well.
I saw that. Yeah, that's kind of got some of the Cards fans a little, looking for some stuff to get fired up about. That's kind of got under the skin of some Cards fans.
I would have, Simone as Tower Boyd, I would have loved to seen Draymond Green in a Kentucky uniform. I know he was actually a UK commit at one point before, backing out and going to Michigan State.
Well, adding him to that team, it would be beastly if they had Draymond Green on there. Like, as if they need anyone else, really. But that would just be the cherry on top.
That would not be fair. Not at all. It's not as it is. But I know that Simone had pointed out a couple of times in his press conference that, Kentucky's the number one defensive field goal percentage team in the country, and that Michigan State and Louisville are actually tied for the second spot. He, pointed out that it's no coincidence all three of those teams are in the Sweet 16. Who do you think's Michigan State's leader on the defensive side of the ball?
I hate to be cliche, but Draymond Green, he is
really?
their leading rebounder on defense and just total rebound. And someone else that's been a leading rebounder for them has been Brandon Dawson, who's a freshman. He leads them on the offensive board. Unfortunately, Dawson tore his ACL the last regular season game against Ohio State, so he's out. So someone who's really stepped up is Adrian Payne. He's a sophomore. He's 6'10", 240. He's long, lean, and athletic. And the thing he specializes in is shot blocking, which I know you guys down in Kentucky know all about with what's my boy's name? The tall guy.
Anthony Davis.
There you go. I feel like they're very similar. They're shot blockers. And as like watching Anthony Davis, you see a shot blocker, not only do they block shots, but they make you alter your shot in the air, which can change your whole game plan. So Adrian Payne, remember that name, he's number 5. He is something that I think he might give Louisville a little bit of trouble in the middle.
I know that, just being fair, I do need to mention Gorgie Jang is also a good shot blocker. Let's not forget about the
he is.
Card Center.
He's 6'11".
Yep, he is a beast. He's broke the single season.
That'll be a good matchup there.
Yeah, that should be. Except it seems Michigan State has more depth at center, don't they? They have a couple legitimate centers.
Mm-hmm. I think they have a lot of depth just in general. Izzo, he'll play 9 guys and a half. Like they are substituting every couple minutes. Their guys are fresh and they like to run. They're always, they're not winded or anything. So depth really, I think, might go in Michigan State's favor.
I'm actually looking at their roster. They have it looks like 11 guys that have at least over 5 minutes of play throughout the season. So that is spreading it out, one of the deepest in the nation, if I had to say.
They're all good
definitely.
too. Izzo doesn't mess around. Simone, a couple quick questions for you, and we'll wrap things up here. Who do you think will win the Michigan State Louisville game, and also who do you have making it to the Final Four? Who are your Final Four teams?
All right, well, the Michigan State-Louisville game, my heart is telling me that Michigan State, they're just too much. Both of these teams are good. I wouldn't be surprised if Louisville win. They're peaking at the right time. They're on these winning streaks. They both won their conference tournaments. But just Michigan State, they just seem so tough right now. So I think they might have the edge. It'll be close. I see it, like I said, maybe 70, 65, somewhere around there. But I give Michigan State the edge. And the Final Four, well, I have Michigan State going, of course. I have Kentucky. I mean, this team, as they're talented, and a lot of the past Kentucky teams have also been talented, but this one just seems a little bit different. I don't know if it's more chemistry or just, an X factor, but they just seem a little bit tighter. And the only people I really see beating Kentucky is Kentucky. And so they're kind of my favorite to win it all. Also, UNC. I'm like with Hinton and Deller, that is one tough 1-2 punch right there. Even though Hinton does have that hurt wrist, I think he'll be fine. And then with the whole Kendall Marshall thing, that does make it a little bit tougher for them. Even if Marshall, I know he had surgery yesterday, they're hoping he can play Friday. Even if he does play, I'm not sure how effective you can be with a hurt wrist. Like, I don't want anyone to ever touch me if I have a hangnail, let alone new screws in my wrist. So I'm not sure how much that will help. So I really see maybe Harris and Barnes handling the ball more with them. Like, I think they should be fine to get past Ohio. If they do end up playing Kansas, that might be another question. That will be kind of hard to tell. And then the East region, that's really the one region I struggle with. I think Syracuse is a really good team, and they probably can make it to the Final Four, which is personally, my baby brother plays for Ohio State. And so I've grown to love the Buckeyes. I want Ohio State to make it, and I know they have a legit chance, but Syracuse's zone is just so tricky, and Ohio State, something they lack so much, is just a consistent three-point shooter, someone that can pull you out of the zone. And I'm not sure if they'll be able to overcome that. So I have Syracuse going to, I guess, Kentucky, UNC, Syracuse, and Michigan State. Kind of boring, all one seeds, but I think they might be that good this year.
Good deal. Sounds like some rational picks to me. I can't really argue even with the Michigan State one, just trying to be realistic, although I'll be pulling for the Cards. Well,
exactly. We all have our moments.
Sure. Thank you very much for coming on, Simone. You were great. We really would like to have you on some point in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. Anytime.
Thank you. Good analysis there. That was
Very
great.
good. It's good to get, we need to start doing that, getting somebody branching out like that, getting other teams. Instead of having just me and John and Danielle writing and Kelly showing up occasionally. We get the opposing team in here, right?
I can talk about Xavier.
Yeah, we don't care.
you
We don't want to talk about.
16.
We don't care about them.
Sweet
They
16.
fight. They're fighters. We don't care about them. We don't
Sweet
care about
16,
Cincinnati.
baby.
But we will mention Duke and Austin Rivers. Her man crush is out of the tournament. Thank you, Lehigh. That is awesome.
It was
Also,
pretty-
Missouri and a lot of Final Four team people.
I had Missouri in one of my brackets. I had Missouri going on. A lot of people did. A lot of people I talked to. I thought they were very ready for the NCAA tournament. They have a perfect NCAA tournament team, and they blew it.
They were close to being a 1 seed, weren't they?
Yeah,
They won the Big 12 tournament. They were chanting at the end of the game, give us that 1 seed, we deserve it. Obviously, you don't deserve it. You just got knocked out by Norfolk State. Come on.
They did have the
Come
game of
on.
their lives,
You don't
but
deserve
still,
a
you should
free
beat Norfolk State.
Well, didn't
Yes.
Norfolk State end up playing somebody and
They
just
got
blown?
ran out of the gym.
Florida blew them out.
Florida.
Blew them
So
out.
I'm glad you brought that up, Danielle.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a question for you guys this week. For the opening weekend, who is your all's most impressive team? Not Kentucky or Louisville.
Most impressive.
Most impressive team, and in the tournament so far, mine is Florida. Not because they're SEC, because they just came out shooting ball that are not seen them play, and they just they're winning games. That was my most impressive for weekend one. What about you? Did you catch a lot of the games? You didn't. John,
I did.
step up.
For me, I knew this was going to happen. I knew Ohio was going to be good. I told everybody. Louisville fans have been saying Ohio was going to be good the whole year. We knew they were going to, and they are.
Sweet 16.
They're a good team. Obviously, they're Sweet 16. I'm not going to hate on you.
So that's the
most
team
impressive.
that I've been impressed
I'll
with.
take that.
I think Cincinnati's been the most impressive.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good one.
I've actually been a Cincinnati proponent all year long because I think that they've got a lot of talent. And after the brawl, they actually had a really good
Both
run.
the Brawlers are in the Sweet 16, and they
Amen.
could make it to the finals.
I still think Cincinnati has more potential than Xavier.
I don't think either of them will make it out this weekend, so it doesn't matter.
14.
Actually,
Sure.
Xavier could because they are
Xavier
playing
could.
Baylor.
Xavier has the potential, but
That
they
is
just,
the matchup. If UK beats Indiana, it'd be Xavier Baylor.
Oh, I'm going to get
Who's
in so
your
much
most
trouble.
impressive, Kelly?
I'm going to have to double up and go with Ohio U.
That's fine, you Card fans. I mean, no, I'm not going to hate on it. It was a great run. By
Well,
Ohio.
everybody.
They could win.
In the
their
beginning of
game.
the season, everybody was like, "Wow, Louisville barely beat Ohio."
Mm-hmm.
Ohio has a lot of seniors. They have a lot of juniors. They're great coach. They're very disciplined. They're very athletic.
Speaking of great coach, Shaka Smart, he made it back to the third round of the NCAA. Now it is Illinois. Bruce Weber's gone. Will he be going there?
I actually just saw a report right before I pulled in here that he's not. He's staying.
Not. He's
Staying.
He said
Not a scandal,
or he
but
just doesn't want to go to Illinois.
He told
it's probably
he
both.
told CBS that he wasn't ready to make that decision. I would hold out. I mean,
I'd hold out.
I would
He
hold
plays
out.
an
hold out for
exciting
Duke.
brand. He's an exciting coach.
Exciting.
I
I think there's
personally
other-
would rather if I had a choice, I'd take him over Brad Stevens
All day, every day.
I think there's other positions that are going to open up at the end of the year that
Illinois is a good
in the
job,
Big East.
but
Probably, I mean, Calhoun could leave.
Mhm.
You know, Jim Boeheim.
Jim Boeheim's not going anywhere.
There are a lot of
He
really
cheats
great
on his-
but old coaches. So
There-
you gotta
the
think
Big
about
East has
that.
a lot of old coaches that I agree with you. I like your UConn
As does
point.
the ACC.
UConn's not going to the tournament next year. It's obvious. Does Calhoun want to waste the whole season?
It's obvious they're not going to
I
the
could
tournament
see.
next
I could actually see.
Yeah,
Because
because
they-
they're
okay,
ineligible,
that
so
makes
it's
sense.
obvious they're not going to the tournament next year.
That is obvious. You're right.
Yeah.
We'll
You
go
got
ahead.
me there.
We'll go take our third break a little bit early on that one. We're gonna have a good last segment. We're gonna cover this upcoming the Sweet 16. As Simone, we just had a good with Simone Scott talking to Michigan State. We're gonna get our predictions of Michigan State Louisville game and Kentucky versus Indiana in a rematch, like Danielle's very excited about.
Salivating.
Bluegrass breakdown. We'll be back in about a minute and a half.
We all know that Coach Riley is a great motivator. Who want to see Coach Riley dance?
Oh yeah. Oh
Who
yeah.
want to see Coach Riley dance?
Oh yeah.
Give me some, Irie.
I got something for you.
Come on, Coach. Coach, no, Coach, look. Coach.
Rev it up, coach. Rev it up, coach.
Yeah. Go, Coach. Go, Coach. Go, Coach.
Hold up.
Go, Coach.
Hold up.
Yeah. 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 Hold on. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Check out Pat Riley. Pat Riley's going. Look at that. Him and Shaq. That was the 2008, 2006 maybe a Heat championship celebration. That was.
He keeps going. Let's leave it up there.
That's leaving
What's
it up
better
there.
than that?
It's his birthday. Former Kentucky great Danielle. I believe he was the number 18 in scoring with 1464 career points.
Pretty
solid.
good.
Won the
Not bad.
He won the SEC Player of the Year in 1966, and I saw some cool stat, but it's not on here anymore. Somebody must have deleted it.
Wasn't me.
He's one of the UK people, one of the UK alums that doesn't really come back very much or mention
Actually,
him
he
a
was
lot,
at the
but-
tournament game.
Was he?
Yeah,
Probably
When?
recruiting.
That was like the first time he's come back in a while.
he was at the tournament game. Over what the second?
Shut
I think
up.
it's the second game. I would say it was the first or second game with Western there because they showed him looking sharp. Crowd gave him a
Well,
standing
duh.
ovation. Yeah, he was there.
Probably out NBA scouting. It's
Born
probably
in
what he's doing.
1945 and still doing good things. I believe there were a couple UK players, or one. Derek Anderson was he on that team? Who was on that team?
Antoine Walker, maybe.
Antoine Walker. It was Walker. Good call.
Walker?
It was.
I think he was on the Heat then.
There was a
I
UK.
think.
Antoine Walker. They also had.
He was because he just sold his.
Yeah, I saw that. He
Oh,
sold his-
okay.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
good call.
it then.
Good
Yeah,
call,
I just
John.
put that
You know,
together.
John, all the greats get rid of their hardware. Muhammad Ali. I mean, just
Yeah,
ask.
but not because they're bankrupt.
John.
Look, you know what?
You know
Hard
what? Some
economic
Louisville
times.
fans, I don't know if you saw, some Louisville fans were saying, that's Terrence Jones in 10 years. So we have something to look forward to.
Terrence Jones is going to get a $45 million contract, so Louisville fans are retarded.
Actually, Patino compared Russ Smith's shot selection to Antoine Walker's at one time.
He's got one of my
Kinda
favorite quotes.
interesting.
Do you know what Antoine Walker's quote was?
Oh, why do you take so many threes? Because there aren't fours.
There are no fours. That's great. That's great.
Man, you get bright ones.
It was awesome.
Bright ones.
I mean, he's got a championship,
I'm
John.
just
I'd be
saying,
jealous
he's
too.
looking.
A lot of jealousy out there for championships. You haven't seen any.
Antoine had a great, I wouldn't say great NBA. He played for a long time in the league.
Long career.
He did.
Not the greatest, but
I mean,
long, extended career.
what didn't make the best decisions with his money, but really, I
A lot of
mean,
people don't.
him and Paul Pierce there were on the verge of making a solid playoff run for quite a few years under O'Brien, I think, was the coach. Not Patino, but
it was
Jim O'Brien, I
it was
believe.
He
Jim
did
O'Brien,
play for
but then it was Patino.
Patino
right?
He did, yeah. Patino definitely
Walker
drafted
and
him.
Ron Mercer.
Ron Mercer, and they had a couple guys that was a bust. Obviously, it ended his career. Trinity, they beat Scott County to win the state title. They also our alma mater, Oldham County. They made
Final
the
Four.
Final Four. How about
Awesome.
that? I mean, they had easy road, but who cares?
With a very young team,
I think they're all coming back. Like maybe one senior.
maybe one, and I don't think he plays that much. So it should be Oldham County
Go
is
Colonels.
looking up.
A3 champ.
How did Manuel do?
Impressed. They didn't make it. They're like always. There's no chance they have Trinity. The Trinity's amazing.
But Manual girls
are very good.
won it.
There you go. There you go.
They won it, right? And Leasia Wright, my neighbor's daughter, scored like 16 in the final game.
Go
Leasia.
Crimsons.
You should probably go
Go
answer that.
Crimsons for life.
Matt's got a very important phone call. Did you want to answer it right now? But anyways, Trinity Day 1 State. I was going to ask you all a question, John. I know you kind of kept up with sports around the high school sports. Trinity, should they be in KHSAA legitimately? No, I'm dead serious. There's a lot of programs around the nation that are not in their state's association. If I don't know if you want to call it, I guess that's what you call it. But I'm dead serious. They're running away with football. Basketball, they're just running away with it.
With football, it's hard to. I mean, with football, they're obviously. With basketball, it's actually surprising. Usually, Trinity.
Everybody's transferring.
Not
either.
surprising when you have James Quick and guys like that.
Daryl Hicks.
James Quick on the bench.
James Quick. They beat in the semifinals. They won their game by 30 without them.
Without Hicks
and
Quick.
Everybody's transferring there. It doesn't matter. I think they should look nationally.
It's not like these players are going to big name teams. Their best players going, I think, to Boston U.
James Quick's going
basketball wise, yeah.
But Manual, you're a Manual grad, right?
Of course.
I believe
yes.
Manual is now with Trinity in their same region. They have no kids going to Manual. No kids
I think
going.
St. X is in that same region too, isn't it?
No kids going to St. X. It's Trinity. It's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just I was talking to some guys, football coaches around the state. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, some people have been complaining a lot about this tournament. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't get media credentials. Evan Daniels, probably one of the top scout guy, he was denied media credentials.
Oh,
I know we were.
We were denied media credentials, but we're denied media credentials a lot.
We got some games to talk right now. We'll start with Louisville again. We've already talked with Simone about Michigan State, Kelly.
Some good insight into
Great
Michigan
insight.
State.
That was the second segment. Go back and watch that in the podcast. What do you see in this game? Do you see Louisville coming out victorious?
I do. Patino has a couple days additional up on Izzo to prepare for the game, and I know that
one day, like 12 hours.
No,
Tom Izzo's pretty good.
Are you gonna make
Michigan State got there this morning. Louisville's been there since Sunday.
I'm sure they weren't talking on the plane.
Every time Izzo has been a number 1 or 2 seed, he's made the Final Four.
I was going to say that to Simone.
But at the
6
same
out of 12 years.
There's the streak of Patino never losing in the
He's
season.
9-0.
At the same time, it's the
stat.
As my friend said all weekend, and I kept telling him to shut up, a streak will end.
We'll find out.
There you go.
Was he comparing those 2 streaks?
Yes, he said it the
Good
entire
comparison.
weekend, like 8 times a day.
Yeah, that is a good comparison.
Tom Izzo.
But it's true. A streak
Relevant
will end.
stats.
And I told Tyler, he asked me what I thought when the bracket came out. The only comment I made was Tom Izzo scares the crap out of me.
Me too. I don't feel good.
He's an amazing tournament coach.
Yep.
Probably the best.
He gets his team ready
overall.
But I will say this: what Louisville has going for them is Michigan State played their 2 tournament teams in Columbus. We played in Portland. We're already used to being away. Columbus isn't that far away.
They're used to being away. Every team's used to being away.
No, they're used to the Big Ten. They don't have to travel that far.
Just because you're in a big country and you got to go 40,000 miles across to Asia to play a game.
Preseason, they played a lot of neutral games. A lot of it. I mean, they started off.
They played North Carolina and Duke their first 2 games.
Yeah, and they lost.
They lost.
They play on
they weren't good.
And they lost in those neutral spots.
They were not good at all.
Here's the thing that needs to scare you about Michigan State. Michigan State, I actually saw them play up in Madison Square. I was there when they played Duke.
Wow.
That team,
impressive.
Yes, that was awesome. But that team is absolutely unrecognizable compared to the team that you see today.
Looks like we got a caller.
We do have a caller. Welcome to the Bluegrass Breakdown. How are you doing?
Doing all right. How are you tonight?
Doing good. What do you have for us tonight? What's your name?
Jacob Kuiper.
Oh, Jacob, how you doing? Yay!
Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah, just called to say that I'm looking forward to the game this week. Looking forward to a little bit of payback.
You are not lying, Jacob. I cannot wait for Friday at 9:45. CBS is picking us up again because we're prime time, buddy.
It's going to be a good time. I wonder if Indiana has figured out the game's not in Bloomington yet.
I don't think they have. I think from the talk I've seen, I think they think it's actually in Bloomington, which is cute. I guess they'll save gas money. Whatever.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're going to be a little surprised when they show up to to the gym in Bloomington, and nobody's there.
Jacob, did you see that the Georgia Dome Georgia Dome, I believe, is actually opening the upper level of seating because of the demand of tickets? It's going to be crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did see that, which to me shows that Big Blue Nation is going to have an awfully big following in Atlanta this year, as usual.
As usual, yeah,
It is.
Kentucky.
Jacob, let me ask you a
country.
question because we were talking about this before the show, and I asked Tyler, will you be ticked off if John Calipari doesn't get an SEC title this year, championship in the tournament, and then also may not get the NCAA tournament if he doesn't win? Isn't that kind of a bad?
We don't care about the SEC tournament. We want the national championship.
Right, but if you don't
let
win,
John finish his question.
If you don't win either
Let's help him
one,
out.
as because John Calipari obviously doesn't care about the SEC tournament. If you don't get either one, what's your feelings on it?
Well, I don't know if ticked wouldn't be the word to use. I'd be bummed out and upset, as I'm bummed out every year that Kentucky doesn't bring home number 8. But I think we've got a good shot this year, and I think I would definitely be disappointed, as Vegas has given UK the best odds of any team to win it all in the last good number of years. The SEC tournament, it's nice. It'd be nice to have. I'll take the regular season championship. I would be bummed out if we don't win it all this year, but I think we're going to do it.
I totally agree.
Go ahead.
I was just saying I totally agree. I was going to ask you. I'm glad you actually called in. I believe UK has played Indiana twice in the tournament. I'm not for sure. Are you going to do any kind of special little breakdown post of this? Because I know you're the numbers man with KentuckySports.co.
I'll see what I can do. Over the last couple of days, I've been a little under the weather with some pneumonia, good stuff. Wow. But now that I'm starting to feel a little bit better, I'll see what I can come up with, some nice breakdown.
That's good. If in case you haven't noticed, it's Jacob Kuiper. He's one of the UK bloggers with us. He does great stuff. You can check him out. He's a big Facebook man in one of the groups. I believe it's the Great Debate, isn't it?
Yeah.
They hate
Louisville,
you
Kentucky.
in there. Louisville fans hate you.
Why don't you tell them about our bet we have going on, Jacob?
Yeah, the Louisville, Kentucky, the Great Debate. It's a nice bet we have going on that to win the bet, your team has between Louisville and Kentucky has to go farther in the tournament. The losers have to make their Facebook profile picture themselves wearing rival gear for an entire week.
I'm going to do this.
Jacob, did you hear about what Danielle has to do?
What's that?
If Louisville makes it as far as she said they would go in the NCAA tournament, she has to get the number of blocks Gorgie Zhang has this year, total, tattooed somewhere on her body.
Ooh.
During a show.
Here's what I said. It's because I get really into the competitiveness of my bracket, and I had Louisville going to the Sweet 16.
So
and I
either
did
way,
not think last week
me
that they
and
would
Kelly
do
win.
that. And so guess here they are in the Sweet 16, but my thing is they have to lose immediately. Now, if they go farther, it doesn't count because then they're ruining my bracket. But granted, I did have Michigan State losing to Memphis, so it's fine.
As of right now, Michigan State's a 5-point favorite. I'm going to say first one to 50 points probably wins.
I was going to say the same
First
thing.
one, it's all Big East basketball.
I mean, they did lose to Illinois earlier in the season. I think the score was 47-45.
I saw that.
Illinois was terrible.
Jacob versus a horrible Illinois team.
We appreciate the call, buddy.
All right.
Give us a call next week, and we'll talk about us going to the Final Four.
All right, we'll do. Thanks. Bye.
Good stuff, Jacob Kuiper.
Gotta love his statistical analysis of.
He sounds like the homeless man that has a radio voice.
We
does.
like homeless people here, by the way.
I saw. I won't go that route. That's a whole other story. The homeless. I was at the St. Patty's Day, and there were two little midgets fighting on the street. It was awesome.
You should contract him though to do some
voiceover.
work.
Some voiceover.
That would be cool.
Good commercial guy. So, John, what's your prediction? Give me a score for Michigan State, Louisville.
I'll say 65-60 Louisville.
65-60. That's a legit score. One team's Danielle. I know you're on my side here. Michigan State, because you don't want your tattoo.
I say 71-54 Michigan State.
You're going.
She's going with the tattoo.
I don't care. If we're gonna go with actual, that has nothing to do with it. Actual predictions.
You really think it's going to be that big of a spread?
Yeah, I really think it's gonna be bad.
I'm going to disagree. I will disagree.
I think that's
I think it's gonna be
I'm
bad.
going to say it's 63-58 Michigan State. That's my score.
No,
One team will not make it out of 60s.
Go with the Vegas spread.
We already know you. So we'll look at the other aspect of thing. Kentucky. They got Indiana in the rematch. Obviously, they lost Indiana in Bloomington 73-72 earlier in the year off of Christian Watford tray ball. It was ugly. They're seeing it all tournament. Are you mad about? I gotta ask you this. Are you mad
The ESPN
about the commercial? No, the
the
UPS
Laker?
commercial. I don't care at all. I don't care about the ESPN
The first
commercial.
time I
I don't care
saw
about
it-
anything. It's a commercial.
The first time I saw it, I was like, really? Really? We got to go there? But then
I like it actually.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's just
pretty cool.
it's tackle and fuel.
I don't blame them. I mean, we're going to see it over and over anyway because it's like on the CBS promo.
John, I like John's post. He posts on my wall is a Lehigh versus Duke UPS remix commercial.
And the response from the UPS guy, because the guy from UPS is a local, business. The guy who actually made it was a Kentucky fan.
Yeah, like my post when I said Kyle Wisher got posterized.
It's logistics. It was a perfect pass, a perfect shot. It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Things like that
I
don't
didn't get
happen. Unfortunately, for you all, it happened against Kentucky.
One of the greatest tournament moments, if not the greatest.
Yeah.
I
mean,
know.
unfortunately,
It's the
Christian
greatest
Leitner
ESPN.
is just a chubby white guy on a couch now, and
Crackhead.
he has his one moment in the sun.
What about Keith Smart? You just completely ignoring Indiana fans altogether this week?
Who's Keith Smart?
The guy who hit the shot to win the championship for Indiana?
I don't care about Keith Smart, Bobby Knight. I especially hate Bobby Knight. He's a worthless old prick. He should be off. He should be on the movie Grumpier Old Man 3 or something because he's the identical old man that hates life.
And he won 3 titles.
Congrats, he hates life. I bet he doesn't. He would. I bet he threw his rings in the river because he hates Indiana as much as he hates Kentucky. He's never set back foot in Bloomington since he left. What an old, bitter SOB, buddy.
He won 3 titles and Cal has 0.
I just ignore him.
I don't care. Shut up.
Why? I can't get mad at Bobby Knight.
I do. I hate him.
Just
He's worthless.
ignore him. I
He's
don't
worthless.
understand
That makes
the
me
thing
mad.
with Bobby Knight.
Kentucky, Indiana. What's the score? Give me a score, Danielle.
Kentucky, Indiana.
Yep. Obviously,
Ooh.
Cat's gonna roll with this one. I'll just give it to
70.
you. Yep.
70-57.
70 to 27 point. Oh, I mean 70.
No.
My bad. Well,
13.
Dyslexic there. Yeah. That's 70-57.
70-57.
John,
42
I don't like the
spread.
smirk you got over
And
there.
that's only because
You're going
Cal
with
will be so far ahead. He'll put the White Boy Academy in, and it'll close up a little bit.
I doubt that. We don't
My-
put them guys in.
Kentucky's going to do just like they have every single game. They're going to play crappy in the first half and then take off for a 20-point run or something like that. So Indiana will probably lead most of the game, but I say 79-70 UK.
70. That's fine. Danielle, he brought the scrubs in for 28 seconds.
But you know what? He still did.
That's terrible. Don't even bring him in. It's embarrassment to even bring him in for that long. What about
hate
you?
White boys?
I'm going to say... I mean, is there any accountability with this at all?
No, we're just predicting.
Okay,
It's the Sweet
Indiana's going to
16.
win 81-52.
Okay, you're worthless. You're worthless.
I mean, unless there's something
You're-
on this, I'm not going to try to make a realistic
Your
pick.
accountability is on this, saying know your sports, because I honestly don't think you know much. So the stuff I've gone through battles with you on Facebook, on text messaging, I think you're one of the absurd fans.
I'm okay with that. I
That's
can
fine.
live with that.
As a lot of people do. They think you're in the gray. And I'm
In
just
the gray.
throwing it out
So
there.
what's your accusation, that I'm in the gray and unbiased, or that I'm lacking in the knowledge department? What's your
what's his
accusation?
nickname? Smarly? Snarly?
Smarmy.
Smarmy. Little Marmy over here.
Matt Jones said he would not buy a used car from me. I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I don't know.
That might be the one and only thing I agree with Jones
The
on.
hair.
I mean, as much money as Matt Jones makes, does he buy used
He
cars?
didn't tip.
Unless he's
All right.
No,
But,
Matt Jones was great when he came on a couple
He
weeks
is.
ago.
Yeah, I was joking. Louisville women lost. They beat their first game in. They had against Maryland. Was it Maryland?
No.
They lost to
They
Maryland.
lost
They
to
lost
Maryland.
to
They beat
Maryland.
Michigan State.
Right.
Season's over. Good year. They finished with a.
They also had a lot of injuries. They
I mean, we
23-10
lost
record.
we lost Warren mid-season.
Monique.
We lost Monique, who was going to be one of the best
Y'all be
players
very
in the
good next
country.
year.
We lost Tia Gibbs. So the very fact that we're still going on, have a young team, have great recruiting coming out the next 2 years, top classes, women's team.
Jump on them. Danielle, did you see the UK women last night? In a barn burner with the Murray State
I
of the
saw
women's
part of it.
bracket. They
I
were
didn't see the barn
31.
burner part. I was watching it toward the beginning.
Oh, it was, at
When
the
it
end.
was-
They were winning
Yeah,
at the
that's
end.
what I heard. 'Cause
They
I was wondering why
had a
everyone was
game-winning
all
shot.
nuts.
They
My
pulled it
thing
out.
is, if you want women's basketball to get a lot of viewership,
Give them more pub.
you need more pub and better officials. The officiating in a women's game,
We
it's
don't
like
need to go there.
we just want it over.
Well,
I
they
mean,
go to
all the
girls
games,
smack
every
each
single
other,
women's
like,
game that I've ever
nonstop.
watched.
My sister played. All
It's
they
just
do is
awful.
smack each other. It's like nah, blah, 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 smack.
Some
smack,
of the
blah, 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 smack.
worst calls
That's how
I've
we
ever
women communicate.
watched was in the 2 games I watched last night.
Yeah, but Cats moved on. They'll be going up to Rhode Island. I don't know the date or who they'll be. Or actually, I do think the game's set against the Gonzaga. They're a 10 seed, so UK could be going to the Elite 8, women's, maybe men's as well.
Not if they play like they did last night.
Yeah, but John, it's a whole another week next week, right? Just
Whole another week next week where Indiana's going to knock Kentucky off.
I doubt that.
If they do, I'll be wearing my Indiana shirt.
Did you all watch?
The first time I ever came on this show was right after the Indiana game, and that was my first impression of you.
I'm actually gonna go by Spartan Head if you all get knocked out by Michigan State.
Good.
Why?
Do it.
Why?
Because you're all the Big East champs. Get knocked out early in Sweet 16.
They're the Big Ten
best conference. Speaking of conferences, we got 4 from the Big Ten, and 4 from the Big East.
4 from the state of Ohio.
4 from the state of Ohio. That's crazy.
Who cares about the
Matt's just been throwing little music.
Yeah.
Who would have thought there'd be 4 from the state of Ohio? You may have predicted California, North Carolina.
Nobody picks outside of. Nobody goes Pacific Coast.
No, traditionally you could pick California.
No, you
USC,
couldn't. You could pick
UCLA.
UCLA maybe. Oh, you're talking state? I'm thinking school. Okay. No, you still couldn't because the Pacific time is not good at sports.
4 from the state of California?
Easily. UCLA,
You know how
Cal.
many little schools there are that make it on a consistent basis from California? UC Santa Barbara makes it sometimes.
That's true.
There's a lot of them.
San Diego. San Diegans. Whatever they are. San Diegites. What are they, Daniel?
I think San Diego Aztecs.
Aztecs. Fisher.
Well, we got to wrap it up, I guess.
Steve Fisher.
We're kind of slacking here at the end. Quick note, John posted it the other day. Artie Burns decommitted from Alabama. Now he's very interested in Louisville. Clint Hurt took him to his mansion. He's very interested.
Obviously, he lists the traditional powerhouse programs in the country: LSU, Miami, Florida, Louisville.
Maybe he doesn't think he's good enough.
He wants to go to the weakest conference ever.
He is a track star. In the state
Ron
of
Mann
Florida,
has it going
in the
on,
state
too.
of Florida, he is a track star, and he wants to come.
Play track.
He wants to play.
I'll take track stars at UK.
He comes from Miami Northwestern, where Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh no!
Really?
This is Indiana.
It's been a great show. Special thanks to Simone Scott, who was a great guest.
Check her out in Second 7. Anthony Davis was Oscar Robertson Player of the Year. He won that award.
He's winning every player every year.
We get it. We get it. Louisville at 7:47 Thursday night. TBS, John. TBS. Kentucky Friday night 9:45. CBS. Check them both out. We'll be back next Thursday. We'll be back on our regular time schedule. Thursday night 7 o'clock. To talk Kentucky in the Final Four. Louisville going home early. This is the Bluegrass Breakdown Radio Show.
The real assembly hall, no Illinois is about to explode. Biggest student section in the nation, bringing that racket like McEnroe. Got a Cuban with Mark Cuban. This just in, got a top recruit committed. Will you ride in like PJ? This is Indiana, yeah, we do it big. Don't say on the Big Ten, you know what it is. Cause this is IU. This is IU. We have fingers on the wall, and this is how we ball. Talking about the hoop,